We've all been feeling a little claustrophobic lately, and the very first place I'm headed when we get the alls clear is to my barber. My hair was shorter than this in 1968, but we're all locked down, and meantime we are socializing virtually, which has its own protocol. Or lack thereof. And what should we expect the new normal to feel like? Let's ask the author of Beverly Hills Manners, Golden Rules from the World's Most Glamorous Zip Code, and Etiquette Advisor to the Stars. She may be appearing remotely, but we always find her approachable. Lisa Gaucher, welcome back to The Big Picture.
Thank you so much, Holland, and wonderful to see you.
Lisa, when all this is over and we get to leave home, will we customarily shake hands, or is that history?
Well, I definitely think that for now, shaking hands is something that people are regarding as a taboo. So we've absolutely had to adopt what we're calling these new forms of touchless greetings. And if we look at what other countries have been doing for ages, you know, rooted in respect and rituals, there are lots of other actual choices that we can do that can hopefully become to feel more natural and organic for us. So whether that be, you know, a simple wave hello or a nod or somebody actually bowing to greet one another, the namaste has also become popular. And of course, just a simple hand over the heart. But I would say no matter what greeting you choose, I think when any kind of gesture is done with a beautiful smile, then that's the part that really lets someone know you're happy to see them.
You know, it's interesting, even as we're walking around with face masks, I can tell when people are smiling. When we had you on a while back, it was as the holidays were approaching, and you gave us some real useful advice for keeping the thanks in Thanksgiving. And what family doesn't have a crazy uncle or a tipsy aunt who turns that event into a minefield? But that's just one day. Can you give us some advice for this extended claustrophobia we're all experiencing?
Right. And so we are in tight quarters, and we are not used to being amongst one another for all hours on end. So the best thing that we can do is extend the simple courtesies that we would sometimes for a lot of people to others before their own family. So we want to really look at, you know, who are the people we're sharing this space with, and how can we wake up every morning and again, put a smile on our face, greet each other nicely, offer to help one another, whether it's cooking breakfast or making lunch or helping somebody get set up to start their work day or their school day, giving each other the benefit of the doubt, and certainly giving us, you know, we talk about social distancing when we're out and about, but we want to also think about allowing people their personal space at home, because those that are in particularly close quarters. I mean, I'm lucky I'm here in Los Angeles in California, where we can be or feel quite spread out. But in some of the more urban cities where they are vertical, it's really hard to do that. So the only thing we can do is try and be as courteous and as calm and as patient and as loving as possible, so that we all don't want to, you know, strangle one another, because we don't know how long this will last in certain cities and towns and states. And we just, you know, we have to stay hopeful and wake up every day with a positive attitude.
Earlier in the show, Professor Margot Suska talked about all these Zoom meetings that we have while we're in virtual world, and Zoom is the new conference room, and YouTube is now full of bloopers. You might have seen this one, but if you haven't, let's have a look where one coworker thought the meeting had ended.
Can you hear us?
Tony!
Oh no! Don't, Jen, call him. Oh my gosh! Hold on, I'm gonna text a couple pictures of that. Oh. Oh boy.
What's up?
Tony, I can see you when you're
We can
under
all
there.
see you.
That's so funny.
And he's not the only one who, that's not the only one who was caught literally with his pants down. One of the more popular versions of this is an ABC News correspondent who swears they were shorts, but they were just short. Lisa, give us some tips for these virtual meetings.
Exactly.
Other than wear
it's
pants.
really sort of right, exactly. It's the one area that everyone can identify with. And I'll tell you, in my book, I had, before we were all Zooming, a chapter on Skype and video conferencing that just talked about how everyone looks like hell when using these sort of tools from home, especially. And so what we want to remember is that our presence matters just as much when we are using these technological tools online as when we are in person. So we want to think about things like showing up, even sitting up and dressing up. And you mentioned about how you haven't had an opportunity to have your hair done, as a lot of us are in that same boat. But just washing your hair, putting on your game face, and these little things help to make the way that we present ourselves much more polished and come across confidently, especially when we have these small periods of time, whether we're in a meeting for a certain amount of minutes with someone, or getting on a Zoom, one of those cocktail hours. It's just a matter of trying to at least put our best effort in putting our best foot forward.
And be conscious that you're not the only thing being seen. The background matters a lot too, right?
Exactly. So you can see here, I have made a little bit of effort to have something presentable in my background. So you want to look at what is behind you. You want to keep things clean. If you have an opportunity to put in some fresh flowers or rearrange a painting, definitely also notice your field of depth. So you have your whatever tool you're using, your tablet or your computer, and notice how wide is it? Where is the screen actually focusing? So that if you were in the middle of a meeting or conversation and you had to accidentally get up or move a little bit, that someone wouldn't see you, that you noticed dressing from the waist up, and that you had a totally different outfit on from the waist down. So these are all ways that we can sort of check ourselves before we wreck ourselves.
I must say that all these TV commercials we're seeing now, which are pandemic pertinent, strike me as tasteful. I got to tell you, I am pleasantly surprised at how little profiteering seems to be going on. What are you advising your clients in terms of imaging their companies these days?
Well, I would like to say that anything that we do that people can take pride in, that will make a company proud, that is where we want to have the focus. It has to be relatable. It has to be heartfelt. You want people to identify with it. So anything that would be the opposite of that would be something that would be repelling or that would feel awkward and really unsavory during these sensitive times. So if you look at something also that happens to be humorous and has a part of tugging a little bit at the heartstrings, that actually is a wonderful combination. I was just noticing I think it was Google that had this wonderful ad that talks about how parents, or speaks to and shows images of parents homeschooling their children. And this image of, wanting to pull their hair out because school is not like it was years ago. It's really difficult for some of us parents to school our children. And so it spoke to that. And then it had this beautiful ad at the end that, gave a wonderful shout out to the importance of teachers. So it's things like that that really make a difference in these times.
Yeah, I've read some research not only about how well the applause for the heroes plays, but I have read some research that says people really like the ads where the company shows you how they're being good to their employees with these unemployment numbers through the roof and so much uncertainty. Lisa Gachet, BeverlyHillsManners.com. Thanks again. Good to see ya.
Thank you for having me, Holland. Be well.
You bet, and thank you for watching. Stay safe and question more